The drums and the shaker ray call us to be present now. Sawubono, Majo, Nangadef, Assalamu alaikum, Imbolani. Hey, hola, bonjour, good evening. What's up, everyone? I open this space with some of the greetings that we find throughout the African diaspora. My name is Dr. Doris E. Tolliver Atta, and I am a professor emerita at DePaul University. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to serve as your MC for this wondrous occasion this evening. Now, there is an ancient African proverb that says, it is important to start correctly. In keeping with this cultural tradition, I will ask my elders if I may proceed with the libations ritual. Elders, may I continue? Now the elders will give their affirmation with the ringing of a bell. So let's pray and hope that they will ring the bell, because if they don't, we won't be able to continue with what we're planning to do this evening. Elders, please, elders, please. Yes, we want to thank you for permission. Well, many of you know about and are familiar with libations, their ancient African rituals. For some of you, this may be the first time you've heard of it with coming to this event. So let me just briefly share with you the importance of this ritual in African culture. Libations is a prayer. It is a prayer that is given to the Creator, the divine source, and ancestors, asking for their blessings for an endeavor, an event, or an occasion. It asks that they will be with us, present with us, so that our event, our occasion will be surrounded by positivity and good energy. From a worldview that considers everything to be interconnected, humans and non-humans, body, mind, and spirit, the seen and unseen elements of the universe. Libations is thought to actually bring back balance and order and harmony between human beings, those of us who are living now, and those who have come before us, as well as the Creator. You may also be familiar with another staple within the African culture, and that is call and response. You know about call and response. If you go to church, you know when the minister says something, the congregation responds back. The minister preaches, the congregation says amen. You know, sometimes in classes when you do something, the teacher might say something and you'll respond back. And we all know that other instance of a kind of like call and response. When you go to the movies and people start talking to the screen because someone says something and they respond back, that's call and response too. We see it in ancient culture and we see it in contemporary times. So when I poured the libations liquid, I would like you to be involved in the call and response with that. So I'll pour the libations and I'd like you to say a word of power from your cultural or spiritual tradition. That might be libations, ashe, amen, yo, or you may respond in silence. Do whatever you feel most comfortable with. So we will proceed. I will get my plant, which is hiding behind me over there. Here you go. This plant is very special because it is one of the plants from 2 years ago with our graduation ceremony. And water. So I'll be using water as our libations liquid. I sometimes say that spirit like spirits. If we were on the continent, we might be using something a little bit harder like schnapps or vodka or gin. But right now we'll be using water since we're using the plant and not pouring it on the ground. So with this water, filtered of impurities, we pour libations, acknowledging, honoring and giving reverence to the Creator, who is known by many names throughout the African diaspora. We pour this water, giving thanks for having been awakened this morning, for the Creator breathing life into us so that we could come together and be together with each other to celebrate our 2020 graduates. We pour and we say libations. Ashe. We pour libations for collective and family ancestors, those on whose strong shoulders we stand, those who have paved the way for us to learn and to know and be strong warriors, healers, and builders. We'll first pour libations and recognize those collective ancestors, those who we know from the history of people of African descent. You can call their names out loud. People such as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Nana Ya Asantewa, Erminta Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells Barnett, David Walker, Malcolm X. Did you call out some collective ancestors? They will be pleased. And now, think about those family ancestors who have transitioned, those whose blood flowed through your veins. You knew them well, and you may have known them as Mama, Daddy, Papa, my dear, Auntie, Big Ned, Red. There's so many names of our ancestors, some very colorful. Remember them. As the ancient proverb says, if you call someone's name, they will never be gone. So let's recognize those family ancestors, those who were birth family as well as extended family and friends. Say their names aloud. Mama Gwen, Mama Sarah, Mama Fanny, Sadie, Daddy Tolliver, Uncle Clifford, Bernice. Did you call out their names? They will be pleased. Ashe. For those who are named and unnamed. And now we pour libations for the unborn children, those ancestors waiting to be reborn. We know that we have borrowed your world and we pledge to leave it in a better state than we found it in. We look forward to you coming back to teach us and give us lessons. We pour and we say libations. And now, it is important for us to recognize those women, men, and children who have transitioned as a result of challenges due to the novel COVID virus. We will remember their names. We will remember what we've learned from them. We will remember good times that we shared with them. We pray that their living not be in vain. We pour and we say libations. Ashe, 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 and it is done. Tonight's theme, Still I Rise, references the empowering poem that was written by Dr. Maya Angelou, or as some affectionately call her, Mama Maya. And it is so appropriate that this be the theme of our evening event. There's so many things that have been going on over the last several months. We've lived through COVID-19 pandemic, and we've learned about its disproportionate impact on people of African descent. At the same time, we're hearing more and more about a longer standing virus that has impacted our country, that of racism. Our hearts are heavy, our spirits are heavy, as we've heard in the recent weeks of the murders of George Floyd, of Ahmaud Arbery, of Breonna Taylor. And we've heard about the threats to people who were bird watching while Black, working while Black, working out while Black. May we take just a moment or two to remember and recognize those whose lives have been taken away from our community, those who've been traumatized, who have lost their way, who have been injured because of the long-standing virus of racism and the actions of white privilege and supremacist ideology. The poem, Still I Rise, speaks to these kinds of aggressions and assaults against people of African descent. It speaks to the struggles that we have endured. It speaks to the injustices that we have faced. And perhaps more importantly, what Dr. Maya Angelou has done with this poem so expertly, so passionately, so adeptly, is to remind us of the power and the beauty of our community. She does so unashamedly, unabashedly, and unapologetically. And I hope that you embrace that as the reality for yourself. No matter how much adversity our community has faced historically, we have been able to get through, not only to survive, but to thrive and prosper, not in spite of what others have said and done to us, but because of who we are and who we have been, how we have been with each other together. We know that you, the graduating class of 2020, will be the same and do the same. And so it is in this spirit, a spirit of resiliency, of self-knowledge, of appreciation, and most of all, of self-love, that we all are here together this evening to honor and recognize your achievements and accomplishments. Now, many of you have had your own fair share of obstacles and hardships to face through this journey. For some of you, it took 3 years, others 4, maybe some took 5, and others, well, let's just say that sometimes life has a way of taking longer than we thought we would take on a journey. But that doesn't matter here. What matters is that you are here and right now. And so we are so glad to join you. And we thank you for giving us such a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful reason to celebrate. And so now I'd like you all to join me in welcoming Jazzy Rush, a 4th-year student at DePaul University's Theater School. Jazzy will be reading the poem, Still I Rise. Thank you, Jazzy, for joining us now.
Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I I rise up from a past that's rooted in pain. I rise, I am a black ocean, leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that is wondrously clear. I rise bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. I rise. I rise.
Thank you, Jazzy, for that energetic rendition of Mama Maya's iconic poem. Now, I present to you Dr. A. Gabriel Esteban, president of DePaul University, who has an important message for all of our graduating students. Dr. Esteban, welcome.
Welcome to the 23rd annual graduation for students of African descent. Congratulations to the more than 600 students of African descent who are members of the class of 2020. I know that much hard work, dedication, and perseverance went into accomplishing this important milestone in your life. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the parents, spouses, significant others, and extended families that help you along your academic journey. Thank you for your constant love and support. I know how proud you must be of your loved one. To the class of 2020, I know this year did not turn out the way you thought it would. COVID-19 has taken over our daily lives, changed our plans, and disrupted our regular routines, as well as many other things we used to take for granted. I personally am disappointed that I will not get to shake your hand on the commencement stage this year. But please don't let any of these disruptions diminish your accomplishment. You have achieved something extraordinary, and you should be very proud. Yes, these are strange times we are living in, but remember, you're not alone. To quote Maya Angelou, we need joy as we need air. We need love as we need water. We need each other as we need the earth we share. As you embark on the next steps in your academic or professional journey, may you find the joy, love, and connectedness we all seek. May your DePaul connections remain strong. May you always remember all the people who helped you along the way. The time you have spent at DePaul will serve you well as you work to transform the world into a better and brighter place. Please keep DePaul's values close to your heart. Remember our commitment to service, our passion for social justice, our love for others, especially those who are left behind by society. Go forth with confidence, strength, and purpose. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you, Dr. Esteban, for your words. Next, Minister Janae Colvin joins us to provide the invocation for our ceremony. Minister Colvin.
Hi, my name is Minister Janae Ashley Colvin, and I'm honored to be with you today. Won't you bow with me as I pray? Gracious and wonderful God, sweet Spirit we have known in so many movements of our lives, we come before you now grateful. Thank you. Thank you for these graduates who have come this far on their journey. We thank you for their families, blood and chosen. We thank you for their partners and friends. Thank you for the professors and staff and anyone who held them up and supported them over these years. We thank you for this bridge built by their education at DePaul that will lead them to the next steps in their lives. Even though we are physically apart, may they know that they are loved and cherished. We are with them. You are with them. We are still together. Guide us through this celebration as we honor the work ahead and the work behind, and embrace the joy in the present. These things and your children we lift to you. Amen.
One of the hallmarks of the Black graduation ceremony that we have had over the last several years has been the Pledge of Allegiance to the red, black, and green flag. This flag was created by the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey and members of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. The flag is a symbol of unity and interconnectedness of people of African descent throughout the world. Please join us now as we say this pledge. We pledge allegiance to the red, black, and green, our flag, the symbol of our eternal struggle, and to the land that we must obtain, one nation of Black people, with one God for us all, totally united in the struggle for Black love, Black freedom, and Black determination. And now we welcome Sandra Bowen, Senior Grants and Contract Specialist, who will lead us in singing the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Please feel free to sing along from wherever you are viewing. Sandra?
Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Sandra. You really sang that song. You would make James Weldon Johnson and his brother, Jay Rosamond Johnson, so proud of what you did with your beautiful voice in singing their words and music. And thank you, everyone who joined along with us singing. I heard you, and they did too. Thank you. And now it is time for our keynote speaker, Dr. Kelly Richmond Pope. Let me read to you some of her impressive bio. Dr. Kelly Richmond Pope is an associate professor at the School of Accountancy and Managerial Information Systems at DePaul University. She received her undergraduate degree from North Carolina A&T, her doctorate in accounting for Virginia Tech, and she is a licensed certified public accountant. She worked in the forensics accounting practice at KPMG LLP on anti-money laundering engagements, insurance fraud investigations, and fraud risk management projects. Her fraud research has been published in leading academic journals. She co-authored the ABCs of Behavioral Forensics, using psychology to prevent, detect, and deter fraud. Additionally, she is a freelance writer for Forbes.com, The Daily Beast, and The Washington Post. Dr. Richmond Pope is the creator of the award-winning educational white-collar crime documentary, Crossing the Line, ordinary people committing extraordinary crime. She began her filming of her documentary, All the Queen's Horses, shortly after the 2012 arrest of Rita Crundwell of Dixon, Illinois. All the Queen's Horses won the HBO Spotlight Award for Best Documentary in 2017 and the Golden Laurels Award at the Beloit International Film Festival in 2018. She has won numerous National Education Innovation Awards for her work that is currently used at colleges, universities, and corporations throughout the country. Dr. Richmond Pope is also among the ranks of DPUBLC members who have done a DePaul University TEDx talk, which can be seen on YouTube. So, Dr. Richmond Pope is an award-winning filmmaking, innovating CPA professor, and there's more. She serves on the board of directors for the Illinois CPA Society, the Lynn Sage Breast Cancer Research Foundation, the Institute of Business and Ethics at DePaul University, and on the governing council for the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. It is with great pleasure that I present to you Dr. Kelly Richmond Pope.
Hello to the soon-to-be graduates of DePaul University. It is a high honor for me to stand here as your speaker. Let me begin by congratulating each of you, the members of the 2020 graduating class, on reaching an important milestone in your lives for which you are being acknowledged, honored, and celebrated today. Just being here with you today brings up a mixture of happiness and sadness at the same time. Although this is a moment of celebration, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that this could be a moment of confusion and grief for some. Before we get started with our time together, let us take a moment of silence and honor those graduates who have lost a loved one during this terrible pandemic. When I received the invitation to address you today, I didn't realize how difficult it would be to offer words of encouragement during a time of crisis. But as I reflected on my own experiences, which include watching friends whose spouses have been laid off, friends who have lost their parents and could not be there at their bedside during those last moments, or students who have juggled classwork with family responsibilities, I've noticed a common theme in all of these situations. Crisis builds strength. And it's this strength that you will need to navigate your post-graduation life. I still remember my graduation in 1996, and I remember what I believed it would be like to finally be done with college. But now I know that my beliefs were actually myths, and I had to learn the hard way how untrue many of them were. I want to share with you some of those myths that I had when I graduated, with hopes that you don't adopt any of these beliefs that I had, beliefs that sort of sidetracked me at times, and instead you will be prepared to soar. So myth number 1, school is over and I will never need to study again. Now, you probably know somebody who said, whew, this is my last exam and I'm so glad the school is over. And when I graduated college, I said the same thing, but boy, was I ever wrong about that. I need you to promise to continue learning. School may be over, but learning never ends. In order to stay competitive, you must be willing to reinvent yourself multiple times. And that might mean going back to graduate school, taking an online course, learning a new language, or getting a professional certification. I started out as an accounting major. When I graduated from North Carolina A&T State University, I went straight to graduate school at Virginia Tech. I actually stayed in school 5 additional years after earning my undergraduate degree. When I later realized as a professor that I enjoyed merging accounting and filmmaking, 2 very different disciplines, I decided to get some formal training and I enrolled in a 6-month film fellowship. Once you graduate college, you determine your life's syllabus and oftentimes the due dates. You are constantly being evaluated by multiple people, and sometimes you won't even know that you're being evaluated when you actually are. And let's not even get started on the people that will evaluate you that have no business doing the evaluating. But as long as you remember that school may be over, but learning never ends, you will be prepared and ready to soar. Okay, myth number 2. When I graduated college, I thought I had to know the answer to what I was gonna do with the rest of my life quickly. Now, that was the furthest thing from the truth. Give yourself time to evolve. It really takes time. A true win takes time to develop, and it's not as instant as social media leads us to believe. Think about an airplane on a runway. For almost all airplanes, takeoff requires more runway than landing. Also, airplanes will usually take off at a higher speed than the speed at which they land. And if you look at most airports with dual parallel runways like LAX, Atlanta, Chicago O'Hare, you'll notice that runways used for departures are longer than runways used for arrivals. So how does this relate to you? Your takeoff will take much longer than your landing. Imagine that you are the airplane and your career is the departure runway. And when you read about people, whether it's their bio or a social media post, they are actually sharing with you their landing. We live in a landing culture. The landing is what we often celebrate, but the takeoff is the takeoff where the true lessons are learned and the tests happen. I'll use myself as an example. When you read about my documentary, All the Queen's Horses, which is about the largest municipal fraud in U.S. history that you can watch on Amazon, you'll find out about it's streamed on Netflix and it's received all of these awards, all of these accolades. That's the landing. But let me share with you the takeoff. What you don't know is that along the way, I was thrown out of businesses because of either my race, my gender, or both, or I just didn't belong there. Dixon, Illinois is a very conservative small town located 3 hours west of Chicago. And I don't need to tell you guys this, that when you get outside of the Chicagoland area, things can get slightly different. I didn't tell you about the 13-hour days on set, and I didn't tell you about being rejected from over 75 film festivals in the course of a year. I had never worked so hard on something and received so much rejection at the same time. It was devastating, but it taught me something. It taught me resilience. It taught me to believe in my work and not take no for an answer. What I'm describing to you graduates is my takeoff, that long takeoff that I needed before I could land. Now, what you have to remember is people are watching your takeoff. Let me explain. When my film first came out, and I went to the few film festivals that it did get accepted to, it got good reviews. So my distribution company decided to approach Netflix and pitch the film to them. Now, getting on Netflix is not easy, especially for an accountant who never went to film school. Well, Netflix said no, and I went on my way. And when my film launched on Amazon, Google Play, YouTube, iTunes, and DirecTV, and it became the #1 documentary on those platforms, we went back to Netflix. And they finally said yes. Netflix was watching my takeoff. You need to give your career the necessary runway it needs, and this takes time and patience. My achievements weren't instant, and my takeoff included turbulence, and this moment in history is turbulence. That's all it is. But my takeoff included turbulence, rain, fog, but then there was sun. So I ask you on this graduation day, promise to give yourself the time to evolve. Let your engine fuel and refuel. You may sputter, and you may change directions, but if you let yourself evolve, eventually you will soar. Okay, myth number 3. When I graduated college, I believed that some people are just luckier than others. Now this myth, I'm still working through because I still believe that some people just seem to be luckier than others. They always get everything, right? But seriously, position yourself to pivot. Our current environment has shown us the importance of pivoting. What's the most innovative pivot you've seen? I've seen the Goodman Theater do their first ever streamed play. Newscasters and talk show hosts delivering the news from their homes. Notaries verifying signatures via Zoom. Dissertation and theses defenses being live streamed where family members from all over the country can attend. Virtual commencements, virtual birthday parties, and even virtual weddings. And think about some of the iconic pivots by people. Michael Jordan going from basketball to baseball. Common going from MC to actor. Oprah from talk show host to actress to media mogul. Rihanna from recording artist to beauty mogul. Survival often breeds creativity and innovation and can unlock gifts that we never knew we had. You'll never know when you need to reinvent yourself and pivot, so always keep your eyes on the landscape, which is ever changing, The only thing constant in our lives is change. Now, I've changed a lot since I graduated, and I shared with you 3 myths that I held on to back then. Now, I want to ask you to do something for me. When your graduation day is ending, I want you to do something. Take a selfie or a social distancing picture, and if you post it, please tag me at Kelly R. Pope and use the hashtag #StillIRise. It would mean so much to me if you would do this, and I'll tell you why. So I opened my talk today saying that I remember my graduation, and I told you that I had mixed emotions about addressing you. Candidly, I just have mixed emotions about graduation. It just brings up stuff. I remember where I was sitting, and I remember where my parents were sitting, and I remember even what my mother was wearing. They were so proud. We were all so excited. For my first graduation, my parents were here to cheer me on. But by my second graduation from graduate school, both my parents had died. My mother died from stage 4 breast cancer 6 weeks after I graduated from North Carolina A&T State University. And as crazy as this may sound, we didn't even know she had stage 4 breast cancer. She didn't tell anyone. She would tell us that she was tired and she was trying a new diet and that's why she was losing weight. And we believed her. And then my father died from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma 2 years into my PhD program at Virginia Tech. My mother never saw me go to graduate school, and neither of my parents ever saw me finish graduate school. I was alone. Just 5 years later, they were gone. In a flash, my village of origin was gone. And since my mother's appearance was changing, she didn't allow us to take any pictures. So I don't have any pictures for my graduation with my mother, only my memories. So promise me that you will cherish these memories with any of your family who's next to you right now and those who helped you get here. Take heed to all that we discussed today. Crisis builds strength. Survival often leads to creativity and innovation, and always position yourself to pivot. And I leave you with the passage from the great Dr. Maya Angelou. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and happy graduation day, class of 2020. And be sure to tag me at Kelly R. Pope and use the hashtag #StillIRise. And at the end of your day, if you want to learn more about the great works of Dr. Maya Angelou, there's a fantastic documentary that's available on iTunes, Amazon, and PBS entitled "And Still I Rise." So check it out. Again, happy graduation day, class of 2020.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly Richmond Pope, for those inspiring words and sage wisdom about crisis and opportunity, the importance of lifelong learning, honoring the takeoff as we celebrate our landings, and the need to position oneself in order to pivot. Such important messages for all of our graduating students, as well as for the rest of us in the audience. And a special thank you for sharing your personal family stories and allowing us to connect with you, your mother, and your father. Again, thank you so much. And now we'll hear from our student speaker for this year, Byron Monroe, a graduate student in the College of Education. Now, I could give you the usual bio, telling where Byron was born and raised in the metropolitan DC area, where he did his undergraduate work at an HBCU, St. Augustine's in Raleigh, North Carolina, near my old stomping grounds. His plans to go to law school, but pivoting to find his joy and his passion in education. There's more of that. But I was really taken by his snapshot bio that tells us who he is. It's more about his being than his doing. So allow me to present to you Byron Monroe. Husband, brother, son, friend, educator, lifelong learner, bookworm, sports fan, Buddhist, DMV born and raised, Grenada roots, and last but not least, inspired by all those who put humanity first. Let's welcome Byron Monroe, future doctor, future education consultant, and future president of St. Augustine's University. He will speak to his fellow and sister graduating students, sharing his story and words of inspiration and wisdom. Byron?
Dear Black graduates of DePaul University, class of 2020, congratulations, we are officially done. While you've deservedly earned all the credit bestowed upon you today, we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize all of the individuals who've helped us in our journey to reach this point. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunties, uncles, and cousins. And to those special individuals who aren't blood, but are day ones nonetheless, we thank you. Furthermore, I'd like to send a special thank you to the entire DePaul University Black Leaders Coalition for your behind-the-scenes efforts in helping to organize this year's graduation ceremony. Your hard work is appreciated, and we thank you. Graduates, we find ourselves in a unique position as the current times have fundamentally restructured our way of life. In times of great confusion, I feel it best to take a look at history and learn from those who thrived amidst life's challenges. What better place to look than our own undefeated history, Black history? The intellectual giants we so often lean on for guidance ought to resurface in this time of deep introspection. From the late great Toni Morrison, who moves our souls with her powerful words, or the pioneer Marcus Garvey, whose master plan was being carried out so well it shook the establishment to its core. How about the trailblazer Shirley Chisholm, who didn't wait for someone to show her how to do it, and instead opened the door in which so many can now walk through? You see, there's no shortage of encouragement. We have an endless well of inspiration from which to draw. Our theme for this year's graduation, Still I Rise, couldn't be more fitting. Don't view this year's theme as a coincidence, for we all know too well that life's cadences tend to signal the right messages at the right times. Each one of us has a unique mission only we can fulfill, and a part of that mission is to raise up the communities from which we came. Let's all take a vow to reinvest in our Black communities, not solely by means of monetary donations, but also in genuine heart-to-heart, human-to-human contributions that make lifelong impacts on those we interact with. View the challenges that currently lay ahead as opportunities. Rewrite the narrative that is too often written for us at birth. Even if that means lying to yourself in order to find a deep motivation to push through, do it. Who knows? You may even end up with your own 10-part Netflix documentary and 6 championships to go along with it. I urge all of you to become market disruptors. How can we rattle society's arbitrary systems so that they begin to listen to our needs rather than to just hear them? Take the knowledge you've recently acquired and couple that with your inherent wisdom to create something of immense value, reshaping the status quo of what it means to be Black, not only in America, but the entire world. Ella Baker, a dedicated change agent of the civil rights movement, taught young people that their spirit was essential to the movement's cause. She once said, and I quote, "In order for us, oppressed people, to become a part of a society that is meaningful, the system under which we now exist has to be radically changed. It means facing a system that does not lend itself to your needs and devising means by which you change that system." End quote. Promise one another starting today that you'll keep in touch over the years. Don't just creep on each other's IG by liking a photo or retweeting one another's posts. No, place your ego aside and find the courage to reach out. Find a common place where purposeful dialogue can naturally emerge. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, we are all we've got. Above all else, take great pride in your abilities. You've come this far for a reason. Now check off that box on your lifelong to-do list and set your sights on new horizons. Construct goals that fall somewhere between manageable and downright terrifying. Our power to imagine is arguably our greatest asset as human beings. Use that power to envision a fulfilling life and take the necessary actions to achieve it. In closing, I'd like to take a moment to recognize those closest to me, as they know just as well as I that today wouldn't have been possible without their unwavering support. To my life's partner, thank you for your strength and wise words. To my sister, thank you for setting the best example a younger brother could have asked for. And to my parents, whose subtle yet firm presence has always given me the strength to keep going, my eternal gratitude has no bounds. Class of 2020, thank you for allowing me to share a few words with you on this grand day. But before I let you go, I hope if there's anything you take from this message, it's these three things. Number 1, uplift our undefeated ancestors and praise their names. Number 2, create your own path, a path ever forward. And number 3, establish countless ways of hope for the ones that follow. The marathon continues. Thank you, and once again, congratulations.
Thanks, Myron, for those words of encouragement. Greetings to DePaul graduating class of 2020. My name is Corey Barnes, and I serve as the coordinator of the Black Cultural Center here at DePaul. This year, I have the honor and privilege of announcing the recipients of the inaugural Dr. Decorah Rogers Harper Student Leadership Award. Established in May 2017 as the Sankofa Student Leadership Award, the award recognizes graduating DePaul students of African descent whose extraordinary achievements exemplify the strength, beauty, and perseverance of the Black student experience at DePaul University. The award was renamed this past April to commemorate the legacy of Dr. Decorah Rogers Harper, a former employee of DePaul's Egan Office of Urban Education and Community Partnerships and the Stein Center for Community-Based Service Learning. Rogers Harper was born and raised in Chicago and went on to become a prolific and internationally renowned gospel jazz vocalist, composer, teacher, and producer performing out throughout the US and Europe. As a double demon, she would earn bachelor's and master's degrees from DePaul University's College of Continuing and Professional Studies, focusing on African American religious history and culture. Oh, but she wouldn't stop here. Dr. Decorah Rogers Harper would go on to pursue her doctoral degree, which was conferred posthumously last fall. I only had the opportunity to meet Dr. Decorah Rogers Harper a few times, but each time her smile and her energy were warm and inviting. And when she sang, the room would light up. Without further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for, the announcement of the 2 recipients for this year's Dr. Decorah Rogers Harper Student Leadership Award. They are no other than Christine Augustine and Imana Rivers. Thank you both for your dedication to leadership and service to the university and communities you serve. And thank you for your immense contribution to the Black student experience here at DePaul. We look forward to seeing and hearing about all of your successes and achievements in your post-college careers. Congratulations to you both. And now I will turn over to Ruthie Moore and Adarius Payton from the Black Alumni chapter for some remarks.
My name is Ruthie Moore, founder and CEO of More Than Consulting Incorporated. I am a proud graduate of the class of 2010. Currently, I serve as the co-leader of the Black Alumni chapter here at DePaul.
Greetings, my name is Adarius Payton, a 2014 graduate of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and member of the class of 2020. I am proud to be before you today as co-leader of the DePaul Black Alumni chapter.
As we go through this pandemic together, we must lean on the accomplishments that we achieve. Small wins, big wins, and life-changing occasions, just like graduation.
Like many of you, I am extremely disheartened that we can't come together in person. However, the health and safety of our students is paramount, especially since this pandemic seems to disproportionately affect our community.
We celebrate you. We celebrate your family. Y'all made it. Shout out to all the first generation college students and every student of African descent walking the virtual stage.
To all parents, guardians, friends, line brothers and sisters, thank you for your support and sacrifice. Because without you, this accomplishment could not be possible. So pat yourselves on the back, and graduates, you be sure to extend your sincere thanks to your support system, because we all know DePaul is not cheap.
On behalf of the DePaul Alumni Association and the DePaul Black Alumni Chapter, we'd like to welcome you into the ranks of Black DePaul graduates worldwide.
Know that you are now a member of a global network that will support you for a lifetime. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Darius and Ruthie, for sharing with this new graduating class the value and benefits of being a part of the Black Alumni Network. The knowledge and wisdom that they have gained through their academic and personal journeys, and the camaraderie that they will have with each other as well as with those who have graduated before them will be much appreciated in the future. And now, wait for it, the moment you have been waiting for, where we honor the hard work, the smart work of these graduating students, the class of 2020. Let's give them a big round of applause. Yes. Now it's time to call all those people who've been waiting. They're in the kitchen or they're in the dining room, they're in the living room, waiting for this part because this is what they really want to see. Let's have them come in now. Tell them to get to the screen wherever they are with you or some other location virtually. You might also go quickly. You got about 5 seconds to get that cake, ice cream, and celebratory drink to enjoy for the next part of our celebration and ceremony. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit it!
Good evening. I'm Dean Misty Johansson. On behalf of the Driehaus College of Business, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 graduates.
Good evening, I'm Lexa Murphy. I'm the Acting Dean in the College of Communication. And on behalf of all of our faculty and staff, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our 2020 graduates. Congratulations to all.
Good evening. I'm Dean David Miller. On behalf of the College of Computing and Digital Media, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 graduates.
Hi, I am Paul Zients, and I'm Dean of the College of Education. I am proud to introduce to you these teachers, counselors, and educational leaders who are graduating this year. We need them now more than ever.
I'm Jennifer Rosado Perea, Dean of the College of Law, and it is my pleasure to introduce the graduates of 2020. You made it to the finish line. Woohoo!
Good evening. I'm Dean Guillermo Vázquez de Velasco, and on behalf of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 graduates.
Good evening. I'm Dorothy Kozlowski, Interim Dean of the College of Science and Health. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the College of Science and Health, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 graduates. Congratulations.
Good evening. I'm Dean Dan Opitz. On behalf of the School of Continuing and Professional Studies, it is my great pleasure to introduce our 2020 graduates.
Good evening. I am Professor Phyllis Griffin, and on behalf of the Theater School at DePaul University, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2020 graduates.
To the graduates of DePaul's Black community, the class of 2020, receive this final blessing. May warm breezes lift you and carry you on to the next steps of your journey. May you remember that the sun always rises, and may you find rest and reflection when it sets. May your hope be fed with the memories of the good that has happened, and with the belief in the good that can be. May God, the divine, and the ancestors keep and guide you. Carry their gifts with you. and rise. Congratulations.
What a beautiful montage of Black beauty, Black accomplishment, Black achievement, talent, tenacity, perseverance, success, and Blacknificence. And what a beautiful closing prayer, Minister Colvin. Graduates, you made it! You can embrace the words of Dr. Maya Angelou. Still, I rise. And because you made it, we have all made it. If we were in Congo, we would say, Mo. If we were in East Africa, we'd say, Hangera. And here we say, congratulations. You will now be a member of the vast DePaul University Alumni Network. And even though you will have graduated, please know that your DePaul University family, including your DePublic family, will be here for you. We will be here to support you. And note that even after tonight's presentation is over, you will be able to revisit your wonderful ceremony and celebration later online. So, as we move to the end of our event, please continue to thrive and prosper throughout whatever life will present to you. There will be great opportunities coming your way. There will be wonderful times, good times for continued celebration and enjoyment. And there may also be challenges and changes. But you have the model of our ancestors, of your family, of your faculty and staff, friends, and even yourselves, who in spite of odds against them can say, and still, I rise. Through a time of COVID-19 pandemic, we can say, and still, I rise. With all of your knowledge, skills, abilities, and critical thinking that you have gained, developed, strengthened, and honed here at DePaul University through your personal and your academic journey, you can say, and still, I rise. I rise, I rise, I rise, we rise. And so, let me get my glass. You got your glass ready? Get your glass ready so we can do this toast. Let's toast to the graduating class of 2020. Go out in the world and become strong warriors, builders, and healers for our community. We've been waiting for you, and the time has come. Let's drink to that. Now you know the evening is still young, and I heard there were some people that wanted to do a little bit more celebrating. So you can continue on with the celebrating and the enjoyment and party. Now you know no self-respecting party could happen without, you got it, the obligatory line dance. I've been waiting for 4 years to end the ceremony with this. Thank you, class of 2020, for giving me the opportunity. And so, let's just go on and line dance out. You know how it goes. To the left, 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 to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. Now back, back, and back, and back, and back, and back. One hop, do another hop, one hop, Step to the right, step to the left. All right, keep it going, graduates. Congratulations. Take care, be well, stay safe. Peace to you and all the best. Continue to enjoy your achievements and your accomplishments. Thank you and good evening. We should have some music with this, don't you think? How about a little Shaker Ray to take us out?